What is up, guys, and welcome back to another brand new video. Today we're here for episode number 12, I'm pretty sure, of FY22 My Team Career Mode for the French Grand Prix. If you haven't seen the last episode, make sure you go check that out in the link in the description below or in the top right hand corner of your screen. Yeah, last episode Austria was an awesome race actually. Yeah, solid car, solid teamwork. And yeah, we were actually lucky enough to get away with some points. Unfortunately for Oscar, he started up further where he would have liked, and with the car that we have, he kind of dropped back down, which to be honest I kind of expected in all honesty. But making this video, or just getting into this video, I kind of f***ed up on something. I'll explain as we go through this weekend, but what happened was I recorded everything at HQ, but for some reason it either didn't save into the file or I lost it somewhere else.
They told you about the new parts that have come in from the factory, right? Well, they're all fitted and good to go. I hope they do the trick.
And also we had a couple of upgrades go on the car. So throughout the next week and a bit, we were able to, or we had enough money, and we were able to re-sign Oscar Piastri for the rest of this season. Even though we were in the slowest car, he still wanted to re-sign. And I tell you what, that's almost a good sign going into the future. If he re-signs in a slower car mid-season, then I'm almost expecting that he may want to have a car that's sort of best of the rest, if you know what I mean. So what I'm saying is, we want this car, we want to be like the 8th, 9th, 8th, 7th best car by the end of the season. Because if Oscar signs for anything less, or Oscar demands anything less than that, I'd be genuinely surprised if he does. Because I think by the end of the season he wants to be in a car that's sort of, challenging the midfield or fighting for fringe points for next season. So that's my bet on what he wants. But yeah, well, he got 0 points, 0 resource points in practice, I should say. Sorry, but yeah, we had a couple of upgrades going in the car. I think one was definitely tyre wear, and France is pretty harsh on its tyres, even though it is a long lap and a bit of a long lap. Well, you got 2 long straights involved. But yeah, it's pretty harsh on tyres. So tyre wear was good, and I think we had a front downforce upgrade go on as well. So downforce is a bit even now. We've got 2 front downforce upgrades and we've got 2 rear downforce upgrades. So downforce is stable for now. I think what we're going to be targeting is drag reduction, maybe. So what are we doing here? We've got a couple of choices actually on what we can do. Another tyre wear test for Belgium. Belgium's not much of a tyre wear. Zandvoort is very high on tyres, so we might wait until we get an opportunity. 13 resource points for a turbo durability upgrade. That wouldn't be too bad, because if it fails, it's only going to cost us 13 resource points. How good is that? Alrighty then, qualifying time for the French Grand Prix. I feel like the AI, this is more of an AI track. I do find it pretty hard to kind of battle against the AI, especially on F1 2021, although you only saw one career mode race. But yeah, when I just did just races in spare time, I came to France a couple of times, and yeah, the AI were a bit rough to race against. Anyway, getting through this first lap, missed the apex there massively at turn 13, no, turn 12, because that's 13. This is 14. It's a 15 corner track, this one, so we missed the apex at turn 12. Make the apex nicely high gear, 4th gear. Probably could have used 3rd through turn 15 in all honesty. But one mistake I did make was I used the old components for practice, but I forgot to change them in qualifying, so that could cost us come our final run. which we've got 4.5 minutes to do. We're going to chuck on another set of soft compound tyres, and we're going to have one last attempt. The first lap was actually good enough to get us into P15. That would be Q2 if it started raining right now. Speaking of raining, we are scheduled to have some rain at some point during the race. It's a bit of a mixed conditions race. Is the race, so it's meant to be cloud overcast, then sunny, a bit of rain, sort of mid-race, and then it's supposed to be drying up again. So we're gonna wait for everyone to go out so we can have a nice free air lap, and then therefore there are no interruptions. Yellow flag on the straight. What's going on there? It looks like an Alfa Romeo or something. We'll get a look to see who it is in just a second, but I'll be surprised if what's going on. It is the Alfa Romeo of QUANYU ZHOU, and he's using my tactics, and he's trying to let everyone past. But the AI or the others don't want to go past, Hamilton and Oscar being one of them. Well, that was fairly interesting. But in all of that, everyone else was starting their laps, but we've been demoted down to P17, sorry. So I don't understand that. Maybe some other cars did their laps while I was coming in. I don't think anyone else came in. But we missed the apex at turn 1 pretty bad. Turns 1 and 2 pretty bad. We got a shocking run. We lost 2 tenths in doing so. But this is where more grip should come in, because when we just went out, instead of just driving slowly around the lap for our pre-warm-up, we're already at 6%. So right now we'd probably be at 3 or 4% tyre wear right now. We should have more grip than this, and as you can see, we're finding more tyre, but the mistake at turns 1 and 2 really cost us. So that has kind of screwed us over. We've dropped down as far as P20. So we're going to have to find a crap load to get us anywhere near Q2, and we're not really finding enough time through turn 14. Really got to get to the inside as quickly as possible so we can get a nice flowing run through 15 and get around there quickly. Straight run up to the line is the quickest way to go. It's a near onto 2/10 improvement, and it's not enough to get us into Q2. Unfortunately, it is P19 on the grid for the French Grand Prix. So I mean, it didn't really help with the with old components as well. It didn't really help us out too much anyway. Oscar getting dead last. That's almost where our car stands, in all honesty. Yeah, I mean, us using old components, it didn't really help our cause either. We probably could have, got closer to the top 10 if we didn't have our components. We're about to change right now. We got to be taking grid penalties very soon. I'm hoping to get to Hungary without any issues, and then we can have a whole new component, all new engine components for Belgium. So that would be the plan going forward.
Hello and welcome from the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. Now, it's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. So let's hope we see more of those in the race today. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners. 6 go to the left and 9 go to the right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The two halves of the long Mistral straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the chicane. And watch out for drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Russell, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Perez, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Tsunoda, and Sebastian Vettel. Zhou, Verstappen, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Lance Stroll and Albon. Mick Schumacher, Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty, and Pierre Gasly. Ocon, Latifi, Oscar Piastri and Skip.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
One thing I did forget to mention was we were taking a couple of new components for column 3. I can't remember what they were, but yeah, unfortunately we did have to take a grid penalty, which is unfortunate, but we were starting towards the back anyway. I feel like we had nothing to lose, really. I mean, we've got a solid amount of points for a backmarker car anyway, so I thought, you know, we've got nothing to lose, let's just take a couple of penalties so we can use all brand new components going into Belgium. So that's the plan going ahead. We're going to start at the back, dead last to however many places we're going to get in this race. Here we go, 5 red lights, and we are underway for the French Grand Prix. Good start up against Oscar Piastri. How far does that good start go? Not very far. Are we even going to think about a dive bomb into turn 1? We do on Oscar, but not everyone else. But wow, being very cautious in this race, unlike the last couple. So we've got enough room to brake as late as we want, not too late. We're gonna try and go around the outside of Oscar. We just got to turn to the inside for the next one, and we're gonna try and have a flowing run around as many cars. I really want to gain as many positions as possible while it is still early days. We do not quite get in front of Ricardo, and he gets the position as we head on to the long straight for the first of 27 times, heading towards turns 8 and 9. As we go a little bit further forward, there's some squabbling up ahead. Bottas getting up the inside of Albon, and we're going to have a think about a move on Ricardo. I did think about it. Try to do a switchback. That didn't work out. And we head down towards 14 and 15 to complete the first lap of speed. We've gone in very well. Everyone's going to be slow, but Ricardo, thankfully, he sees us coming, and we get ourselves up to P18. So up 4 spots at the end of the first little bubble, going from 4th, 5th to 6th. There, I had to click the gear shift a couple of times to get myself up there. So DRS hasn't been enabled yet. It will be enabled at the end of the next lap, or at the end of this lap. So yeah, solid start. Now we're just going to settle into our rhythm, and we're going to just focus on the car ahead. Now the DRS is enabled. Ricardo comes at flying speed, but unfortunately, he had nowhere to go. We opened the door for him to go around the outside, but I don't think he'll stay there. We do give him a bit of space. I want to give my fellow countrymen a bit of space and not piss him off too much. We do that, but in doing so, we've now lost DRS to Gasly here, but thankfully we were able to gain all that back somehow. I feel like the car... Are we really fighting much of the AI anyway? I'm not so sure how much of the AI we're going to get today, but one bloke who we're not going to get is Ricardo. We've decided to let him go and set up a switchback. We nearly take out Ocon's front wing. I can see the what do you call it? The arrows. What's the first word you call it? I've completely forgotten. But are we going to recreate lap 1? We are going to recreate lap 1, and we're going to do a nice dive bomb on Ricardo back up into 18th place. I'm not so sure if he's going to. I'm not so sure if Danny's going to really like that too much. Anyway, but. Yeah, well, we're kind of settling into a rhythm a little bit. Basically just trying to stay with these guys. Well, these guys are squabbling up ahead. ZHOU losing 2 places there. He might even lose a third if he's not careful. Fast forward time a little bit. We're going to have a look at the spoon cap. He's going to go defensive. This could be a good opportunity to try and set up a switchback. Can we make it work? We show the nose. There's an overlap, and we don't quite get up front. He'll at the inside for turn 12. So that is that's a bit unfortunate that we weren't able to make that work anyway. Yeah, that's it's a bit unfortunate, and well, we've lost a bit of time there again. As you can see, the gaps between us and ZHOU, that's really unfortunate. So we're just going to try and get the DRS back on those guys and see if we can try and get it back again.
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain. Okay, dry seem like the best tyre for now.
Okay, so rain coming in about 5 minutes time. Well, if it's going to be in 5 minutes time, why is there so much sunshine lying about the place? I don't necessarily know. Ricardo has looked at us into turn 1. I give him enough space. Exit out of turn 2 wasn't great, but thankfully he is too far back to even think about a move. Here we go, 5 for the lead now. This is Lando Norris up the inside of Charles Leclerc, I think it is. McLaren against Ferrari. McLaren are fighting for potentially a race win today, and Lando takes the lead off of Charles Leclerc. What a move from the Brit, and he gets his McLaren that, well, I'm surprised it's even fighting. That Ferrari, he grabs the lead of the race.
We're expecting the rain to hit us any time now. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So I asked a couple of laps ago how far the rain was, and apparently rain isn't really too far away. It should be coming in anytime soon. But so you saw the blue sky on the back straight. This is us on the front straight. There's a bit more cloud cover. 30 seconds later, there is definitely more cloud cover. You can clearly see the difference in basically in 90 seconds of racing. So yeah, massive changes. It looks like we found a bit of pace somewhere, and well, the rain has actually now started to fall a little bit. So we could be seeing a switch to intermediates very soon. Well, DRS is still enabled. We're gonna go around the outside of ZHOU and move done. Thank you very much. We kind of squeeze him to the apex a little bit, pretty savagely. There actually, lap 12. Now we are still slowly getting into a rhythm. We're scheduled to come in at the end of this lap. However, I really don't want to be pitting right now, because if we do, we're going to lose track position. And if it does rain, if the rain does get any heavier, we could be seeing a change to inters. That is Lando Norris, who's made a mistake at the Spoon Cave, and he's lost the lead of the race. He was cruising out to a lead as well, and he's made a mistake. Oh, Lando, what have you done there, mate? We'll get an onboard in just a second, or how about now? So it is raining. He's gone a little bit. He's trying to be careful, and he's just gone round. Does a nice 360, but Leclerc says thank you very much, and he retakes the lead. So, and Lando was cruising away from the rest of the pack as well. Now DRS is disabled, so are we going to see cars coming into the pits? I don't want to be the first one to pit, because if we pit and it doesn't look to be the right time, we could find ourselves in a bad mistake. I think so. Jeff's just coming over the radio saying they're not sure what the go is, but he thinks the right call is to stay on dries, and I reckon staying on dry ice is the case. And now we've got another problem with our rear wing. So we had a similar issue, I think in Austria or Silverstone. No, I think it was definitely a Silverstone because it was wet, and well, DRS didn't even get disabled until towards the end of the race anyway. We've gone a little bit wide at the exit of the S's, or the chicane corner cutting warning. Just telling me it's time for inters, but no one's reacted. I don't want to react because, yeah, it is raining, but the track doesn't even feel that wet yet, or it doesn't even look wet anyway. So apparently we had to I decided to give the place back to Alex, and we're going to try again at the exit, but I don't think that happened. And now the leaders are starting to come into the pits, and what I would imagine would be a set of intermediate tyres. That's inters on Leclerc, and I'm assuming he'll be inters for Hamilton in the back. That's inters for Lando, inters for Alonso. So everyone's coming into the pits, and I was looking at the mini-map the whole time. I wanted to see if everyone else was coming in, and everyone is coming in, and that is exactly what we're going to do right now. There might be some double stacking involved as a matter of fact, because I definitely think Oscar will be coming in at the end of this lap, and he is right now. Jeff was on the radio as we were coming in saying that slicks were still the fastest tyre at the moment, and that is a jump on Gasly. So we've jumped Gasly and Albon in all of that. That is a brilliant moment there. So they must have been held up in their pit box a little bit longer than what they would have wanted, and as a matter of fact, we've gained some beautiful track position, but I'm not so sure how long that's going to be, because Gasly is having a look up our inside as the safety car gets deployed, and we don't have to get back to position. We must have been just in front as the safety car came out, and the reason is Sergio Perez is out of the race. What happens here? There's a battle going on up ahead, and Perez has rear-ended George Russell, and that is a Haas that is being overtaken. They must be on slick tyres still. Must have got another lap, and Perez pulls off. He can't even make it back to the pit lane. There is parts where Charles Leclerc was parts in real life. Apparently it was Mick Schumacher who stayed out the extra lap, and because the safety car came out perfectly timed, meant that he was able to not lose too much track position as well. Well, now because we're going to be going slower now when we go back to racing, it means that we are going to be burning a bit more fuel, and we nearly rear-ended Mick Schumacher. The reason why I nearly rear-ended him was because I was looking at the MFD to see how much fuel we were burning. I was trying to burn as much fuel as possible so we can make the car as light as possible, because we are going to be recovering a bit of fuel as we're going to be coasting through some of the corners on a wet racetrack. Anyway, we're back to green flag racing now. Not the greatest of restart up against Mick, but we were able to hold stations ahead of Gasly as we head into turn 1. 10 laps to go. Can we either hold on for 12th place, or can we somehow get our way into the points once again? I don't know how we're getting points in what is the slowest car. We scored 3 points, 1 in the sprint and 2 in the race last time out. So I'm not sure how we're even in this position. I thought realistically we should be going backwards in this race. Yellow flag behind us. I wonder who's that for. We'll get a replay in just a second on exactly who it is. Chopper shot might show us that someone's had a tank slap and tried to recover, and they've hit the wall. Who is it that's hit the wall? I think it's Alex Albon. So yeah, big tank slap, and he's gassed it up, tried to flick it around, but in doing so he's hit, the rear wing has hit his car, so that's a bit unfortunate.
Okay, the rain should be ending shortly. Be ready for the grip to come back, but don't overheat the tyres. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
Okay, so it looks like rain is going to ease off very shortly, and Jeff is saying that the track is going to be drying up very, very soon. I wonder how long it'll be before the track dries up, even if we're going to go back to dry tyres. Once again, we're in a situation just like at Silverstone where the track is drying up at a point where it was definitely dry enough for slick tyres. We came in with 3 or 4 laps to go at Silverstone, but that time around we got disqualified. So I really don't want to be doing that again. Absolutely not. So I think the best way to go is react to what everyone else does. In this case, anyway. If no one comes in for a set of slicks in the last few laps, well, the track definitely doesn't look dry enough for slicks anyway. If no one pits for slicks, then we don't anyway, even if DRS does get enabled, because right now we're in a decent enough position where we can score points if something dramatic happens up ahead. If we're able to get Mick but not Bottas, but someone in the top 10 retires, then we are on for another points finish in this race. So, and that was Mark just coming over the radio saying it is now time to change tyres. I don't think that's the case. If we were going to change tyres and have a 1 lap gasp at getting a fastest lap, it would have to be at the end of this lap, so we can have 1 lap to warm up the tyres and 1 lap to go absolutely bonkers around on the last lap. But we do not do that, and we're going to stay out the rest of the race right now, as we are starting to lose touch as DRS now gets re-enabled, because it was disabled before the rain period hit, or the change to Inters. Usually when DRS gets enabled or disabled, it means it's time to change tyres, whatever it may be. But you can see, I think the tyres are starting to overheat a little bit as we head towards the last lap. When the Inters overheat and the track's not even damp, then that's a pretty bad mix, if you think about it. So we're on to the last lap now. We've lost ground to the cars in front, so now the aim is just to simply hold on for this last lap So we've got about a minute of racing to go, and we've got two straights that we are going to have to worry about. We've got Gasly behind us. We're going to weave around a little bit. We don't have DRS on the cars in front. We're weaving around a little bit. We're going to defend the inside, and Gasly brakes later. That he gives us a big squeeze, and we've lost the car. We've lost the rear end, and we were squeezed off. No thanks to Gasly taking us out, and we've lost P12 in this race. It could be down to P16 if we're not careful. Of QUANYU ZHOU, who is behind us, he's going to have a look at us at the fast left-hander at turn 9 or whatever that corner is, and he gets us. But what he's not going to counter is a re-overtake from us. That's the overtake we should have done on ZHOU earlier in the race. And while that's happening, Charles Leclerc crosses the line and he wins the French Grand Prix. And Lando Norris recovers to P2. But man, he'll be gutted to have that spin just before the tyre change. He'll be absolutely fuming he's lost his chance to win his first race in F1. He'll have to wait a little bit longer now. But for us, could have been a solid result. P12, it's going to be a 15th place finish.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Well, that is a very, very disappointing finish. Could have been a solid P12, but in the end, it's a P15.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Paul Ricard. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. It just looks so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
Well, that was a very, very disappointing finish. Could have been a solid result, but in the end, Gasly gave us the big squeeze, and we end up a few spots back than what we probably should have been, in all honesty. But the real question is, how are we performing so well in a car that realistically should be at the back? Well, we've got Hungary up next, and that is a more difficult track to overtake. But even if when we do go to tracks where it's not easy to overtake, we still make the overtakes work. So I don't know what the go is in all honesty. We just have a car, or I'm just making the car go in places where really it shouldn't be. Seriously. So 15th for us, 18th for Oscar. Oscar is making places, in all honesty, so he's doing a solid job at making places, but I'm assuming that by the end of this season he's going to be wanting a car that could compete for fringe points. I really want to keep Oscar on board for the entirety of this journey. I don't care what you guys think in the comments. You guys want me to have a different teammate per season, but my aim is to keep Oscar Piastri on board the whole journey. That is the plan. That is the plan going ahead for all of us anyway. So in a race of what could have been, it could have been a 9 place gained race, but in the end, or a 10 gained place race, but in the end we only gained 7 places. Well, no thanks to Gasly squeezing us off. He gave us a massive squeeze. But to be fair, we were tight on the inside. But even if I made the apex and Gasly kept turning, there would have been guaranteed contact. So I think there probably would have been contact either way. In honesty, that's how I see it anyway. But there's still a long way to go. There's still a bit of time for us to get more points and get us into the top 8. I think. I can't remember what the team objective was at the end of the season. I think it was either score 15. It was either score 15 constructors points or get 2 points finish. I don't know if that's for me or for the team. That I'm still a little bit unsure about. but or might have been 15 constructors points anyway. But this moment really hurts. That really hurt, and you know, when we try to correct it, I think that's where we just clearly lost it. Clearly lost the car, and the car just wouldn't live it. Well, that's in the past. We can only look forward now. To be honest, the catchphrase that I've still got in my head is that you learn more from your mistakes than what you do. What you do right, and this is something that I reckon we can definitely learn from. But thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and until the next one, I'll see you next time.